welcome to another episode of the Nick and Adam Show. I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam.
And we are going heavy today, Adam. Not just talking about weight. We're going heavy into comics and toys today.
Hell yeah.
Because that's what we do. We're nerds.
That's what we do. We are nerds.
All right. So to start off here, but we are going to start off with just a little bit of news. So let's get to it. So they released some more trailers. It looks like a teaser trailer and some more images for the book of Boba Fett. So I wish I could say they are really starting to, start kicking up the excitement levels, but not yet, apparently.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, but I heard it's nothing to write home about.
It's very much in line with the trailer that they had before, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, at least some of the images you get to see Robert Rodriguez here, at least, doing his thing in the directing, being a very active director, very. I love Robert Rodriguez, so anytime I'm seeing him on set, I get excited. So makes me happy. But everything they've released so far has just been very meh. So
it's kind of like they're trying to tell you a whole lot without trying to tell you anything at all. And that's fine. I think that we're in a position to trust them. I loved The Mandalorian, so season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I love The Mandalorian. I just don't like what they did. So, but we've discussed that enough. So,
yeah.
In other news, so looks like Bruce Campbell is hanging up his chainsaw as Ash anyway. So,
God bless him.
One of my absolute favorite characters in general. I love Ash. I love Army Darkness. It is one of my top. I'll put it in my top 5 easy. Top 5 movies of all time. Definitely one of my favorite characters of all time. But yeah, it's good to see. Sometimes you just have to say, yeah, I can't do this anymore, and it's nice to see. So,
I agree. It's one of those situations where it's nice to just say thank you. Thank you for giving us all these years, almost 40 years, and then thank you for giving us a great character.
Absolutely. And not saying a whole lot, but he's from Michigan, so he's a class act. So
yeah, rock and roll.
All right, and then other news. They are starting principal photography on Batgirl. The HBO Max's Batgirl movie is underway with new details about Barbara Gordon surfacing. So Barbara Gordon's being played by Leslie Grace. How do you feel about that, Adam?
Leslie Grace is a hell of an actress. She's a very, very, very talented woman. Remember what I just said about Star Wars? I think we can feel safe and trust them to put out a good product. I can't feel that way about this. I can't. I've been burned a lot by the WB, especially when they try to get into characters that they don't put in the hands of a very creative director or somebody that I really know. I'm not trying to criticize somebody's work that I haven't seen, but I didn't have any doubts about the Batman when I heard that Matt Reeves was going to do it. And then the trailers came out and it's like, well, he's really delivering. I trusted Zack Snyder more than I trusted Ben Affleck. I'll tell you that. And they made something great. They made something special. Then there's the Birds of Prey movie. And then there's the Suicide Squad. What do you want me to say? I mean, maybe I want this to be good.
Yeah, there's a couple different elements here. So the directors are brothers, Adil El Arbi and Alaa Blah, and they directed the latest Bad Boys movie, The Bad Boys for Life, and the script is by the same person who did The Flash and Birds of Prey, Miss Christina Hodson. So not sure. There's some excitement, but also there's like, ooh, not excited about that so much. So we'll see. But they do bring back J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. He's expected to have a bigger role. We'll see how much they pull on, how much more they pull out of the Justice or out of Zack Snyder's quote unquote Snyderverse. So we'll see. It's like I said, it's supposed to be a HBO Max movie, so we'll see what type of quality they can do. I mean, they pulled a couple big younger actors. The guys aren't still. I pulled up their IMDb. They're in their early 30s, so they should have at least some energy brought to the movie. So
this is gonna be a dumpster fire. This is gonna be a dumpster fire. As soon as you said Christina Hodgins, Hodson. As soon as you said her name, it's over. This is a wrap.
So
this is it. I don't care if you got Steven Spielberg to direct this movie. I don't care if you got fucking Martin Scorsese to direct. I don't care if you got Chris Nolan to direct this movie. You've got her writing the script. There's nothing to direct. So I'm gonna watch it. There were things about Birds of Prey I really liked. It just wasn't a comment. Moving on.
Well, I think that's about it for.
Well, let's talk about the toy news.
Yeah, let's talk about the toy news, Adam. So I know you had a couple stories you want to bring up. So.
Oh, we forgot to bring up the HBO Max thing. That's a big deal.
Oh yes. Well, we can tie it in with Batgirl because it's HBO Max as well. So what do you got for us, Adam?
HBO Max has announced that they're done with day and date movies, which means, like, you know, if it's released in the movies the next day, it'll be streaming on HBO Max. That ends in 2022. So that ship has sailed. They really can't. The experiment was good for them, because now I think what's going to happen is people are going to be heading back to the theaters in droves for the blockbusters, but they're not going to come out for the small ones. So I think there's going to open up a market for smaller movies in the streaming zone.
And I think and you alluded to it, for the box office to recover, you can't have the option to stay home, right? So that's why I if I had the option for most movies, I could just stay home and watch on HBO Max. So you knew that model was going to have to come to an end. I'm surprised it's lasted kind of as long as it did, but they actually put a number on it. So sorry, I have a dog being an idiot. So, but yeah, so not, like I said, not unexpected, but so I'm sorry, what did you say? Was it 2022 or 2023?
22.
22, yeah. So
yeah, next month.
So get it while you can, and there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Adam. We still have toy news. Toys.
Yeah, we got toy news. The Rancor. They're making. If you've seen it, it looks awesome.
I was that close to almost pulled the trigger.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this is a Kickstarter campaign, and there are tiers for it. Now, the story. Let's just go through the story real quick, and then I want to ask you something, Nick. But the story is, once the tiers were revealed, the people started to back out of it. They didn't want to back it because they didn't like the figures they were offered. What was the name of the figure? I said Rizzo the Rat, joking around, but you know his name.
It's Salacious Crumb. It's the little annoying thing that ends up pecking out the eyes of C-3PO. And,
yeah.
Just that little terrible monster thing, which there's a couple reasons they're upset. Is because, one, they've already released him. Two, they're supposed to release him with, I think they're calling it like a critter thing later, so you don't even have to necessarily go with the Hasbro package here, where you can just wait to get that figure. And then it's Salacious Crumb and another Jedi Knight Luke. I mean, love Luke to death, but not sure how many different ways you can do a Jedi Knight Luke, unless they're gonna try and do like a Mandalorian special edition. But
what's he gonna look like, a video game, and the other ones are gonna look like live action?
yeah, it's gonna be slightly aged a little bit more, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But and that, you know, and these Hasbro Pulse toys, they're not cheap, man. A lot of these guys, you're spending a lot of hard-earned money on these toys, and you know the fans are they're getting their voice and saying, no, this is not acceptable, and that's good.
I agree. So what would you have had to do to pull the trigger on it? How much would you, I mean, what if I want it, what do I gotta do?
Honestly, if it wasn't the holidays, I might have done it, but and especially the Rancor has such a special place in my heart because I actually had the original as a kid. When I was a kid, we used to go to the Salvation Army a lot, and they always had the Land of Misfit Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have any lightsabers or anything, but they had all the toys there. And I used to love going there. And I remember one time, yeah, they had a Rancor, and I had it as a kid, and I talked about like, oh, what could have been if you held on to it. But yeah, excuse me, if they'd given us at least the Rancor Keeper, and I forget the character, the dancer, because I mean we're talking about adult toys. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, I know it's Disney now, but you know there was Star Wars before Disney, so
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Well, I mean, it's another thing, because one of the things that we were talking about earlier is they have at GameStop, they have an actual Slave One, you know, Boba Fett ship, or what they're going to start calling Boba Fett ship, but it's still labeled as Slave One because that's the name of the ship.
Right. What are they going to start calling it?
Boba Fett's like Starship or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible. That's
So
why. That's why when Disney comes to calling and wants some of your intellectual property, just say no.
Well, they paid $4 billion for it. I mean, I really can't hate on George Lucas for
No, I can't hate it, but for F's sake, like,
yeah,
they've done so much damage to that stuff in such a short amount of time, even faster than I thought could even be possibly done. They've damaged that brand beyond almost all recognition.
Yeah, Brian Posehn said that if he could travel back in time, or no, I'm sorry. Patton Oswalt said if he could travel back in time, he'd kill George Lucas with a shovel.
Yeah, that's funny because especially when everybody was so upset where, you know, once George started doing the special editions and started doing the prequels, he was enemy number one, and man, how the tables have turned on that one, huh?
Yeah. Well, the prequels make sense. At least there's a story. I mean, a very good one, but there's a story.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you were never gonna recapture the magic of the original Star Wars. It's just impossible. So when they did, I understand when they did the prequels. Yeah, a lot of people were upset because it's not this, it's not that. No, man, you're never going to get the magic of A New Hope. You're never going to get back magic of Empire Strikes Back. You're never going to get the magic of the Ewoks and Return of the Jedi. But compared to what we're getting, you know, spoon-fed today for Star Wars, I mean, it's not even comparable.
Did you know there wasn't supposed to be any Ewoks? Did you know that?
Yeah, they were all supposed to be all Wookiees, right? But they couldn't afford them, so they literally shrunk them.
Yeah, that's intense. That's wild. I have the Ewok Adventure on DVD and the Christmas special.
Oh yeah. Funny story. Remember?
Sure do.
Yeah, he made us watch. He made us watch the Christmas special one Thanksgiving. He's like, here, why don't you watch this? I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was like a segment of it. No, he made us sit there and watch the entire Christmas special, and I'm like, this is why it's made fun of. So,
full disclosure, dude, I've got it on DVD.
Oh,
and I wait. I can't sit through it all. Still haven't. I've had it for years.
No, it's damn near unwatchable, especially by yourself. Like that needs to be enjoyed. You know, you got to torture a bunch of people with that all at one time to get through it.
I put it on once for my buddy Tony, and we were watching it, and I'm like, "What do you think of this?" And he looks at me. He's like,
What?
I can't believe this exists. And there's Princess Leia singing a song, and wasn't B. Arthur in it?
There's so much weird going on, and it's like I never thought of George Lucas as much of a drug person, but you sit down and watch that, you're like, pretty much had to be on drugs.
That, and they had to have like just network people involved in it. Like, oh, we got B. Arthur, we've got this person,
we got a Golden Girl.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm always quoting stand-up comedians, but Brian Posehn had that very joke. He's like, I'm a nerd, and he goes, so I know how to piss off other nerds. So like when there's a bunch of nerds standing on like wrapping around a movie theater waiting for a Star Wars movie, and they're all dressed like Jedis and Yodas, I like to drive by and yell, Star Trek sucks. They're like, fuck you, it's Star Wars.
Or like the meme of forget who it is, but it's usually like live long and prosper, and it shows a picture of Darth Vader quoted by, you know, whoever, you know, just ridiculous. It's like, that's quality right there.
Hey man, didn't we go to a Star Trek convention when we were teenagers and see Leonard Nimoy speak?
I did not. No, that doesn't sound familiar.
We went, me and you.
Leonard,
We went
I know.
with my brother-in-law.
I don't think so. When was that?
Late 90s. I want to say circa 97.
I've never been to anything with Leonard Nimoy. So.
Well, I just can't remember how I got there.
Where am I?
I know it happened.
So, all right.
Okay.
Do we want to jump to comics, or what do you want to do?
Let's jump into toys. I am behind on my comics, I'll be honest.
Okay.
In fact, I can, let's jump into toys.
All right, Adam. We just had Black Friday. What'd you find? Oh, yeah. I saw him around.
Is this showing up?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's drop that background then. Doop-a-lee doop doop.
All right, now we'll just restart it again.
There we go. Oh, nice plain wall there. Yeah.
All right, Adam. So we just had Black Friday. What'd you find?
Redeemer, baby. The Spawn Redeemer. I've wanted him for a while. I have not been able to find him, but I found him. And I am very happy.
How'd you do on that one?
Well, I was working on Black Friday, so I paid full price.
Yeah. I saw him around, but also I some places, depending on which different toy stores you go to, if you're paying retail or above retail. So I saw it at both. So
I got him $26.99.
Yeah, so that's just a touch. That's about right. So
yeah. I mean, it's pretty damn deluxe for $26.99. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, that's classic McFarlane toys right there. So
yeah, he's got. Let's see. Usually they list how many points of articulation.
I'd say it's usually 22 for McFarlane.
Yep, 22 moving parts. Partes con movimiento. Yeah. And every Spanish American person just went, shut up.
Like, please don't do that.
Please don't.
So
how about you?
I have you beat on points of articulation.
Ooh, Spike it is.
Yeah, Spike Spiegel. I'm pretty sure this is a re-release, just because of the TV show. Because I was thinking about, I was eyeing him up on eBay, and then I happened to see him out and about on Black Friday, so I picked him up. Uh, Comes with a gun, and it comes with a couple of head changes and a couple, if you want to change his hands. So, but yeah, I think this one's got 33 points of articulation. Let me
Nice.
check that real quick. Comes in a nice box, but 31 points of articulation. So
Okay, who makes him?
you would ask that.
BST.
ESPAX. So,
Okay. Okay, cool.
yeah, so this is based off, obviously, the anime, not the live action TV show. So,
I've got a little something that you're interested in. A friend of the show, he's our Dune expert named Jim.
I love Jim. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, yes, he he was a little under the weather, so last Monday didn't make it in, and I was like fucking gnawing at the bit. I was like, you gotta see this Cowboy Bebop, right? So he finally, he got into work. He's better now, and I said, hey, I've been dying to tell you about this show, Cowboy Bebop, because I watched it. I was like, okay. I didn't finish it yet, though. I go, what'd you think? He goes, I liked it. It was pretty cool. Now, he hates cartoons. He's of that generation. Sorry, I know it's not a cartoon. You know it's not a cartoon.
Right. But certain generations, it's still just a cartoon.
It's just a cartoon. And he's like, so I would ever watch that. But he goes, he's never watched that. He goes, but yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. He goes, now every show, every episode, it's like they got to go do something that's the same kind of beats. He goes, but it was cool.
So and did he watch the anime or the live action?
He watched the live action. He's
Okay.
not going to watch the anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, so I'm supposed to have that up fairly soon for some breaking into two parts. So first part of the review will be episodes one through 5, and then part 2 obviously will be the rest. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully Jim will check it out and see what he thinks. So what do you have next on your toilets then?
Oh, well, I got actually a vintage toy that came in the mail today.
How vintage?
It's about 15 years old, but it is a DC Direct Azrael Asbats Batman.
Nice.
Yes. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Be right back.
They were a visual platform.
Should I bring the entire wave of Masters of the Universe Revelations? Because I grabbed that too.
You bring as much as you want, friend.
All right. Like I said, I use hot glue to keep some of the stuff down, so I can't bring that other whole wave in. However, I can show you this. It was an early Christmas present that I got this weekend from my nephew, and it's Faker.
Nice.
He's got 3 different heads. They're actually put away right now, but he's got an entire Terminator head where it's just nothing but. And I chose to take his He-Man vest off and put his Faker vest on because I just think he looks badass that way. Okay, so you can see he's got the red eyes, if you can see him there, and a little Terminator look. He's got the power sword, but they paint part of it orange, which if you're trying to pull off impostering He-Man, I don't know why you do that. If you remember, the figure when we were kids is fucking blue.
Right.
So, how about you?
I was saying that's part of the Revelation series, right? Or is
That's
that...
part of Revelations, yes.
So,
yep.
All right, so I'm not going to do a twofer here. Because... All right, so I actually picked this up a couple weeks ago, but it's Legends.
Yeah, turn them more this way.
Yeah.
There we go.
So now I did a touch of customizing. I did add some wash, like the hair and stuff like that. Now I'm showing you this because I love the figure. I don't love everything about it. Like I don't love how the cape is not attached. So I don't know why they did that. Because this was my first Marvel Legends figure. and I wasn't super impressed. I think it's an awesome figure, and I love that version of Magneto. And then I came across this guy, and
Ooh.
I love so much all about this Vulture. It's so good. There's so many details into it, and I guess this was part of the Build-A-Figure from when was it? What was the first Spider-Man? I'm trying. No Way Home.
No, Homecoming.
Homecoming. So this was part of the Build-A-Figure for Homecoming, and then they re-released it because spoiler, he's probably going to be in the new Spider-Man. So, but just the detail on the wings, and they even have how the rotors spin.
Yeah,
and all that, and
that's fucking sweet.
I mean, just the grandeur of how wide the wingspan is. They nailed it, and just when I watched Homecoming, I was like, that is a freaking badass Vulture. And I think they just released this about a month or so ago. I saw some reviews on YouTube about a month ago, so it probably came out right about then. But there's just so much good in this figure. It's ridiculous. You know, you get even a little visor that is detachable. So
that's sweet. You know, if I remember right, in the movie, you kind of have to keep Tom Holland's Spider-Man anchored into the MCU because Vulture was building his tech out of Chitauri technology, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was his company was in charge of removing the leftover alien junk.
Yeah.
Because he was subcontracted through Stark.
Gotcha.
And that plays into the whole. That plays into his whole plot because he's pissed off because basically, I think is it Stark that comes in, and was he contracted by Stark or was he contracted? I think he was contracted by Stark, but then Shield came in and kicked him out, and he ended up losing like his entire business because he had everything wrapped up in that. So that was kind of his one of his plot points.
Was he MJ's dad?
Yes.
Okay, so MJ's dad is supposedly in prison now in the movies.
Right. And you see, and they allude to that in the No Way Home trailer.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, clever way they made those Spider-Man movies. You're right, they did just print money.
No, yeah, it's I mean, that's the thing. There's not a crazy secret formula to making good comic book movies. You just have to give the people what they want.
Right.
You know, a good Spider-Man movie, a good Batman movie, a good Superman movie, and you can make a lot of money.
Yes. A guy at work asked me today, he says, who do you think would win? Do you think Spider-Man or Wolverine? And I was like,
there's so many levels to that question.
Well, I said at the end of the day, Wolverine, and he goes, I say Spider-Man. I was like, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. I know Spider-Man's your favorite character. Batman's mine. Wolverine's going to shred Batman, okay? And I said, but I guess Spider-Man can fight long enough to get away. That's what I say.
And yeah. See, and those are the nerd conversations that need to take place. Who should, what do you think of such and such's costume? What do you think, who would win in a fight? Those are the nerd conversations that need to take place. Not what's between a comic book character's leg or who they sleep with. They don't care about that.
It's not the furthest thing from my mind.
Those are the conversations that nerds have. Who would win in a fight? Which costume's better? Those are the conversations we have. Those are the conversations we like to have. Those are the debates we like to have.
Right. And we don't have to worry about who they're sleeping with either, because Superman's sleeping with Lois Lane, Bruce Wayne's sleeping with everybody, and Wolverine has a couple wives. So that's it. We're good.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And Spider-Man,
we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Spider-Man either has a Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy. And beyond that, no one cares. Don't need it.
Right.
All right, your turn.
Okay, so I don't want to take him off of this. I think it looks cooler anyway. I have the Masters of the Universe Origins Prince Adam Sky Sled with the Masters of the Universe Revelations Man at Arms. So yeah, and he's set up next to the Classics Gray Skull that came on Thanksgiving Day. So
Yeah, I was close to pulling the trigger on a couple of Masters Universe Revelation figures, and it just got to the point where I'm like, either I'm spending too much money today, or I'm not spending. You know, I sometimes you have to go. You know what? Christmas isn't necessarily for me, unfortunately.
unfortunately,
Sometimes you have to go. Oh wait, I'm actually supposed to be buying for other people, so I will see what's available after the new year. So.
yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. I got it. Anyway,
With that being said,
yeah.
I found the McFarlane 66 figures on Target.
Okay. What'd you find? What'd you get?
I got Batman, Robin, and Joker.
Okay. Awesome.
I don't know how, because they were all sold out, and it was just like, hey, they're available. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And because they've been sold out for the last month and a half. So
That's what disappointed me just now about that freaking page I sent you to. Those were Mezco figures. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Thought they were McFarlane's, and they're not. And I was like, damn it.
well, I think McFarlane's are supposed to be coming out with like what, the surf versions of those.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? You know, I would buy in a freaking heartbeat. Batcopter with Batman hanging off with a shark on his leg. That's what they need.
Yes. And a try me button that says, hand me down the shark repellent bat spray.
Either that or one where he's running with the cartoonish gigantic bomb over his head that the fuse is lit. So
yeah, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. and you know, Adam West later on, he goes, I look back on that line and say, was I talking about my career? You know,
that poor man.
He had a good sense. He went through some hell after being Batman. Nobody would cast him. He turned down being James Bond.
Huh. That's the thing, because he's a good-looking dude. Like,
yeah, I mean,
talk about being pigeonholed your entire career.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't have like a comeback till he was on Family Guy, you know.
And even then, he was just basically a caricature of himself. So
exactly, but he had a great sense of humor, though. I mean, if you watch interviews with him and stuff like that, you know. So I cried when he died, man. He meant a lot to me. So
yeah, he's one of the talk about like people you wish you would have met, you know, because that's one of the great things about Comic Cons, man. You get to meet all these people like you would obviously never have a chance to meet. And Adam West is one of those I really would, because he came to Comic Con a couple times, right?
More than once, and my lazy ass never stood in line, so I just found a spot to look at him.
Yeah.
God, I hate when I do that shit.
Right. I'm not going to stand in this line, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to look at him. And then,
yeah, I'll just look at him. That's good enough for me. I did the same thing with Neil Adams. Sure as hell stood in line for a Cinnabon last time.
Yeah, the so far my two biggest regrets is him and Rowdy Piper.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's one of those, man. I wish I'd in the decades I took off from comics, those are the two where I'm like, man, you go back in time, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad that I got the Lois Lane. I got Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
So yeah. I had her sign it personalized. You know, Adam, can you read my mind? You know, remember that whole thing.
All right. So, you have any toys left?
Ready for the? I got 2.
Yeah. So you go.
Ready for the Asbats? Just came in the mail today, folks. DC Direct Asbats.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
From the Nightfall series.
From the Nightfall series, and I happened to just glance at the back. I was like, "Holy shit! I only need 2 more to fill up those." Because that's my Bane. As you can see right there, that's a sweet fucking Bane.
That's got to be one of the best Banes, and that's got to be one of the best Catwoman ever.
That Catwoman, not only is she still standing, but she taught me all of the things not to do with
So many.
action figure surgery. And she's standing today, and thanks to the Dremel, she's got a one stiff leg, but she stands thanks to the Dremel. And I love that Catwoman. I cherish that. I don't think there's ever been a decent Catwoman besides that one. I'm not crazy about the Catwoman look where the hair doesn't stick out, you know?
Yeah.
It's grown on me. I'll say that much. It's grown on me. It's not hideous or nothing like that. I think Michelle Pfeiffer did it best. I love her as Catwoman too. I love her and Julie Newmar.
Yeah.
And Anne Hathaway.
Solid.
Yep, those are my 3.
All right. So, and I picked up a couple of DC Multiverse. So I realized I don't have just a regular Batman.
Oh God!
So I went with that one.
That's the Todd McFarlane signature one, right?
Yes, Batman designed by Todd McFarlane. So.
Yes, sir. I swiped him off the shelf as soon as I possibly could.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I hadn't seen one of these in the wild before, so I grabbed Robin, and I'm like, yeah, that's. And it's funny because I think someone was trying to hide him.
Right?
Because he was buried under some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, look at you! Found you, and you're coming home with me."
Amen, dude. And those. So, okay, what are you gonna do with? Are you building like another shelf or anything like that, or?
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to get my hands on a couple of display cabinets, and that's ultimately the plan, is to probably get 2 display cabinets, like I think they're called hero cabinets.
Oh yeah.
So that's ultimately the plan. Obviously, but with the back cable, I'll do something a little bit different. But just with figures, that's the plan right now. But trying to find a couple that match, and also not painting out the nose for them at the same time. So actually, hopefully in the near future, you guys will see it displayed in the back. So we'll set it all up so that you can actually see everything in the background in the future. But it is what it is right now. So
yeah. Okay, so for the past, about say 11 years ago. What year is this? 21. So about 9 years ago, maybe 8. I had discovered on Netflix the 2002, which is called the 2000X now, Masters of the Universe show. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And it was a reboot. Mm-hmm. And then you fast forward to like when they announced Masters of the Universe Revelations, just the announcement of it in 2019. I was like, yeah. And I kind of started watching that again. And so I remembered that there were toys. And for a while, I've been collecting the action figure lines to that. Well, I'm happy to announce 2 things. At this point, I only need 2 more, and I'm done with this line because I have all the ones I want. Because eventually, NECA picked up the line,
right?
But they didn't make figures. They called them action statures or something like that. Staction figures. And basically,
Mattel lost the He-Man line for a minute.
for a minute, I guess, or they stopped making it because they weren't selling or something. So NECA picked up where they left off, but NECA made them exactly the way that they were making them at Mattel at the time, only with zero articulation. Zero. So they were called, that's why people called them staction figures, because they were statue figures.
Right.
Anyways, he showed up today in the mailbox. So now that having him, Manny Faces is on its way.
Nice.
That leaves 2 left, which I found at that new toy store that I told you about. So I'll be going there in the next couple of weeks to get those 2. Anyways, but I needed him. It is Whiplash.
Nice.
And it's Masters of the Universe right there. And it's from the 2000X series. So all I need after once Manny Faces shows up, I just need Buzz Off, which is one of my favorite characters in the whole world. And I need Too Bad.
Yeah, because that was the big thing when people were when Kevin Smith announced his Revelation series that's coming out. That's what everybody was comparing the latest He-Man to, was that 2002 series, where there was a lot of fans that really liked that series, as short-lived as it was.
They were going somewhere with that, dude. I still have to watch it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't checked it out, but I know a lot of He-Man / She-Ra fans really enjoyed that series. So
I had 1 quip with it, maybe 2, and that was just like, yeah, you didn't have to change the power sword, but that's stupid. That's
right.
Just me being picky.
Sure.
You know, I got a buddy every time that a movie comes out. He's like, I didn't like his suit. I was like, what? Come on, dude. Your head would explode if you saw that when you were 5.
Right.
You wouldn't give a shit about the suit. But and then there's a couple episodes where like Skeletor and everybody were just kind of like thugs. Nah, coming back and get you, and they're running away. But they did that in the original show too. They were onto something with that show. It was pretty cool.
Right. So, all right, Adam, are we out of toys?
We're out of toys for today.
Okay, so in just a quick,
I'll have plenty more next week.
I'll say, because I just pre-ordered, actually it's already on its way. Good job, McFarlane Toys. Dark Side, because it was 50% off. I said thank you. And then I also did pre-order She Spawn, so through Target. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Oh man, she's such a cool figure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should go for the Cygor and She Spawn combo, but I just went with She Spawn because they're coming out with a comic. Talk about a nice transition there. Where in the McFarlane universe, he's actually putting out his first team comics, and it's going to be Scorched #1. So,
Jesus. Did you just hear me whisper Jesus?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus, man. Because my mind is blowing up. That's all. My mind is blowing. Like, fuck, man. 30 years. It's almost been 30 years of Spawn, and I'm realizing right now, no, he's never done a team. And what a way to play it that close to the chest. What a way to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. All right, Adam, what are you reading?
I'm still reading the same thing. So why don't you tell the folks what you're reading? And while you do that, I'm going to pull something up here. Okay?
All right. So I picked up a couple of very cool books that I didn't even know existed. They are Joe Hill House Comics. So these ones are, I love the title, Refrigerator Full of Heads, Part 1. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. And Joe Hill, if you don't know, is the son of the mega famous author Stephen King. So he's got his whole line of comics, and these are just a lot of fun. And there's a couple, and they're trying to track down these Norse mythology weapons, and they actually find this axe in the river And when they actually pick up the axe, they actually get attacked by a shark, and they notice that something's awry once they chop the head off the shark. The head keeps chomping.
Oh my God.
So it's pretty funny, and this is kind of the final page. So, and it's a lot of fun. It's very gory. It's very over the top, and I love every panel of it. So I picked up the first couple issues of that. It is Refrigerator Full of Heads 1 and 2, written by Rio Ewers, Tom Fowler, and Bill Crabtree. So, and that is part of the Hill House Comics. Joe Hill presents. So. And then I picked up a comic I have zero interest in reading, but I picked it up strictly because of the cover. And it is Action Comics issue 1036. Look at that cover.
Oh, yeah.
And this cover is by Julian Totino Tedesco.
That's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, like I said, I have next to no interest in reading this comic book, but
Why? It's Superman.
I've never been a Superman guy, but that cover I picked up, I said, doink, got it. And they actually, one of the few times in recent memory, they sold out of a book.
Wow. Do you know what's going on in the book at all? Or?
Not at all.
Okay, no, that's fine. I don't blame you. There's sometimes you just buy things for the art of it. I get it.
And that's my thing. I love the art. So like I said, I'll read it, but I have no idea what's really going on. But I do know what's going on in this one. Gunslinger Spawn. Issue 2. It just continues on the story of Gunslinger Spawn. And some of these panels, I just go, oh my gosh.
Oh wow! Yeah, you can tilt it a little to the other.
Yeah.
There you go, because you're right in front of you here.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Which way?
The way you're going. The other way. There you go. Keep going. Sideways, not forward. Sideways. Yeah. Okay, I can see him now. Oh, when we lost him. But no, that looks great.
I just so the art's so good in this, and I mean, I know.
Oh my God!
McFarlane's always, been. That's what he's known for, is art. But goodness gracious, it's so good, and it's one thing to have really cool art, but even the writing's good, the story's good, everything's good, and it's just so good. That's what I'm reading.
Awesome. Okay, so I've said it more than once. I'm gonna finish up this White Knight stuff, and I'm gonna finish it. I will do my best to finish it before the next episode and give you my my hard take on it. Like I said, there is things in it that are redeemable. I just haven't had a chance to pick it up.
No worries, I'm still reading Suicide Squad. It's fine. Trial by Fire. Pick it up.
I'm gonna read that next on the app too. So what I did was I went to the DC Universe app right now, and I looked at my poll list of favorite stories, and actually the one I'm going to bring up in a minute, the two I'm going to bring up in a minute, I have the original prints of it. I went out and bought them a while back before there was a DC app. But that first comic you were holding up with the shark that ate everybody and stuff, what's the name of that comic?
That is Refrigerator Full of Heads.
Refrigerator Full of Heads.
That's part of the Joe Hill line of comics.
On the back page, the very back ad of your comic book was the Sandman.
Hold on.
There you go. That's the Sandman. And that Audible right there, I've started the Audible of it, and it is just brilliant. I have read the first 5 graphic novels of Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and I can't tell you how strange and bizarre and beautiful and just absolutely intelligent it is.
How's the production value on the Audible?
Oh my God. I mean, it's
Because sometimes you sit down with an Audible book, it's like it's one guy doing all the voices, which at times is okay, but sometimes when guy goes to do a girl voice, I'm like, okay.
well, Kat Dennings is Death.
Oh, it's got a star-studded cast.
McAvoy is Dream, the Morbius, the main character, and yes, star-studded cast. But I'm going to tell you what really puts the hook on me is the character Death. But she's so poppy, and she's so happy, and
Which you wouldn't expect from Death.
right. But she's very goth looking. She looks a lot like Lydia Dietz grown up Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. And she is the brother of Dream. So he's Lord of the Dream Realm. She's Death, and the rest of their siblings are other facets of reality. And they're called the Endless. And it's like, let's say the year was maybe like 1000 something, and there's this tavern in Europe, and Death and Dream happen to be in it, and there's this guy talking about death, like dying. I'll never die. Dying is for cowards. And he's getting drunk, and people who die just don't have the will to live, and I'm gonna live forever. And they look at each other, and he says, this could be interesting. And she says, okay. And so she allows him to essentially live forever. And he speaks to him, and he says, every 100 years, we're going to meet in a spot, and you're going to tell me how your life has been. He ended up being a slave at one point. He ended up wanting to die at one point. He ended up very rich. He lost it all. He was very rich and all this kind of stuff, right? Now I've painted that picture for you. That all comes later. In basically the third or second act where we really take off, Dream was imprisoned by these people, okay, this cult, and he gets away. He was in prison for 70 years. He has to go get all of his stuff back. He has to get all of his weapons back and all this kind of stuff, and he does. And he's kind of depressed. And his sister, Death, is saying, you got nothing to be depressed about, blah, 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 blah. Come on, come with me. I'll show you how the other half lives. And so she takes him on a tour of taking souls. One of those souls happens to be a baby in a crib. I show the mother rocking the baby, and she walks out of the room. She's going to get the bottle, and Death walks into the room and picks the baby up. And the baby speaks to her, goes, what? No, it's over. This is all I get. She's like, I'm sorry. It's not up to me, little guy. But yeah, you got to go. You got to move on now. And they walk away, and then you see the mother come back in. She drops the bottle. She's shattered. There's her baby, right?
That's
now
terrible.
That's awful, I know. Let's fast forward to this other guy. He's been alive for over 1,400 years. And he's looking at Death, and he's like, okay, well, I must have done better than everybody else then. I did better. I did 1,400 years. That's got to be better than everybody else. And she looks at him, she goes, you got what everybody else got. You got a lifetime. No more, no less. And she takes him. And it's like, shit. It's all, a lifetime can be a day. A lifetime can be 1,400 years. And that has stuck with me. I still haven't finished. There's 10 graphic novels. I'm a little more than halfway through, like I said. But Sandman, as soon as you picked that up, I was like, oh, I know what I want to talk about. I know exactly what I want to talk about. And it's crazy. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, and then the Longbow Hunters. The Longbow Hunters. Green Arrow, Longbow Hunter, and Hunter's Moon, written by Mike Grell. Late 80s. Very like what you're reading now with the Suicide Squad. Like just very grounded. Talking about the drug epidemic at the time and all this kind of stuff. Assassins. It's adventure. It's fun. It's Oliver Queen. In Seattle. So I can't say enough good things about that. I'm not going to describe it the way I just did the Sandman because I would go on forever, and I don't. It's awesome. It's some of the best Green Arrow writing I've ever read in my life. and I've read, I'd say, a fair amount, to say the least, but I don't remember it the way I remember Sandman. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, certain stories stick with you, huh?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. You know, he goes to hell in one of the stories. He's not even up to full power to get one of his artifacts back, and he comes across Lucifer, the Morning Star, and at this point, hell is divided into like 3 kingdoms, and he ends up winning to get his stuff back, right? And he looks at Lucifer and he says, "Let it never be said that the rulers of hell are not honorable people. Thank you very much, and I'll be going now." And Lucifer goes, "Oh, wait, you think you get to leave? Oh, you don't. No. You won your stuff back, but you're mine now." And he looks and he goes, "Oh," he goes, "you have no power here, Dream." He goes, "Okay." He says, "Very well." He says, "You say I have no power here." He goes, "But how much power will hell have over its occupants if they can't dream about heaven?" And Lucifer's like, "Just go. Just get out of here."
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's Neil Gaiman's writing in that shit was nuts, man.
So recommended.
Highly recommended. There was one of the journalists in the beginning, like prefaces or whatever of the graphic novel, like says, if you're one of these people who've never read this if you're reading this for the first time, I'm jealous of you. Like, that's what it said. And I was like reading, I'm like, really? Go enjoy this, immerse yourself into this world. And 2 summers ago I did. And like, yeah, good stuff. Sandman is good stuff. There's a Netflix show coming. We'll see. But definitely the Audible, they put a lot of production value into Audible. They really did.
Yeah, like I said, not all Audible books are the same, but some of the bigger titles, they actually put in an entire cast. It's just not one guy. Like Dune, they have they have an entire cast with that. So obviously with Sandman, but I think it's time to wrap it up, Adam.
All right, yeah, wrap it up, because overpopulation is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, people.
Wrap it up.
So,
drink. I used to think a condom was a method when I was a kid. You hear these these commercials, and there'd be like 8-year-old Adam, like AIDS is bad, teen pregnancy's bad. That's what the commercials would say, and be like, make sure you use a condom. And I was like, wow, what kind of plan is a condom? Sounded like a plan to me. Sounded like a plan. Didn't sound like, when I found out what it was, I was like, yeah, I always knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. As all teens be like, no, I knew what you were talking about. I knew it. I knew 69 men. Totally knew.
Totally knew. I knew what it meant. Oh, what would it mean again?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you knew.
That's it.
Yeah. So,
all right, man. We love you guys, man. We love you.
Thank you, guys. Oh, go ahead.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa and everything in between. Please make sure to check us out on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at The Nick and Adam Show. Just want to say thank you guys so much. It's the giving season, and we just are so thankful that you give us your time and all the energy that you guys put behind us. And just want to say thank you so much, and have a very happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, and happy Chanukah.
And that's it.